boys that are the product of one of the greatest mothers who could have been. So I want them to understand that even though she's not around, she's still with them.
Hey, Troy, are you able to mute everybody? Good to go? All right. Hey, 7 o'clock. We have 90 people on. That's great. Troy, will you explain as far as how you're taking attendance?
Yeah, so attendance works this way. So this tells me how long you've been on. So two things from attendance perspective. Like I see Jay's iPhone. I'm assuming that's Jay Simpson. If it's not Jay Simpson, you're out of luck. Tony, now I see your face. I know who you are. So that's fine. But and Dan B, or if it just says somebody's iPhone, I can't give you attendance, even if you put it in chat. So the attendance identifies how long you've been on, and it sends me a report. So that's how it works. So that's how attendance will be taken. You don't need to put your name in on the side.
Troy, I don't know how to change my name up there. This is Andrew Bard.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Troy, this is Jay Lee. Jay's iPhone is Jay Lee, not Jay Simpson.
Yeah, Jay Lee, you're lucky you told me. I'll change your name so I can identify you when it comes to the report downloads.
Thank you.
Otherwise, if it's Joe, then it's Joe Mama.
Hey, Troy, can you hear me?
Tony, I already got you, Tony. You're good.
Just want to make sure I'm long distance, so if you get scrambled or something, that's technology.
Yeah, I hope that came through.
All right, so how about doing another mute everybody again? Good to go? Okay, hey, first of all, thank you for being on here. I'm trying to be proactive in everything that we do moving forward, making your time count.
What?
You know that we switched from number of meetings required to number of hours required. This helps significantly because some of you are going to be able to easily make the 18 hours. And if you're only making 18 hours, great. Those who do the minimum should expect the minimum. Those who do more get more. And I'm talking about as far as on getting better. If I'm trying to be proactive and making everybody better, then you're the apple of my eye and making me proud. And that's what I'm trying to do, is making every one of you a little bit better to make me proud of each and every one of you. I do want to say, as far as on scrimmages, just so you know, all right, I'm good. I want to say that on scrimmages, just as a reminder, you can take additional scrimmages. As we get closer to the actual date of scrimmages, I may ask a couple of you to switch off of the current scrimmage that you're on to another one. And this is mostly to get you more snaps and better exposure as far as on what I'm looking for as an assigner. My biggest thing is, once again, is I won't be actually taking a scrimmage, but I will actually doing a hit and run at different locations, especially those of you who I don't know yet. I want to be able to get out there and see you out actually moving around. You may not know that I'm out there. I might do a hit and run. I might show up as a in a mask looking like Pete Gizzy. So if that's the case, then yeah, we'll just say that was Pete Gizzy out there and not me. I see you on the screen, Pete. I just want to say hello to you. With that being said, I finished the crew assignments because we're crew oriented, and so just those of you who are newer, I assigned the crew assignments one crew game per week, and then I show it to the board, so that way I keep things on the up and up, so that way I'm not trying to overindulge in those who are considered my friends and trying to put the stick to those who are assumed as not my friends. I just try to make you all better and make assignments according to the strength of your crew. Past that, once so with that being said, every one of you need to go to your travel limits and make sure that it's correct. Today I had a crew chief that I spoke to had 12 miles for Thursday and 20 miles for Friday, but Friday's origination zip code was Redlands. So guess how many Orange County games that person would get as a crew member? Yeah, I see Tony Bryant smiling. It's a big zero. So all of you need to make sure that things are correct, because I don't want to be your secretary and making changes and getting phone calls. Hey, well, can you override that for me? We have over 290 people in our group. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather you just say, well, I guess you don't want the game, and then I got non-crew guys that gladly take those crew spots. So do your part so I can do my part. Once those crew assignments are out, I'm going to start working on week 0, and that'll be for all levels. So as after week 0 assignments are out, if you haven't got a game, when I send out an email saying that I have games through week 0 out, you don't have a single game, then there might be something wrong with your travel limits, your calendar blocks. But you need to get a hold of me to make sure that we fix that so you can receive games. So the plan for tonight is to go over the new rules, because as those of you who are taking the test, I don't want you to get confused with no education at all as far as what are the new rules. And then after that, just keep in mind that we have our first in-person meeting at Villa Park High School on August 13th. That's at 6:30. We'll have video there. That meeting will not be recorded, so you need to be there. You get points, additional points for being there live. Those who sit back and say, I can't make that meeting, I understand. There's optional ways to get your hours in, but I'm just trying to have incentive for you to show up in person. Those of you all of you should actually have received an email from Troy on, we have a vendor showing up selling officials equipment. So those who are lacking equipment, you can make an advanced order and pick it up there as well. Okay, that was a lot of talking. Any questions?
One comment.
Go ahead.
Hey, just let you know, for the courtesy cards, if you guys are interested in the courtesy cards to go see other football games on Thursday or Friday nights, specifically the younger officials or newer officials, it will only be available live. I will not send them out, and you cannot pick them up. So you need to be there.
Will the vendor be selling the new shirts?
Yes.
And you can order those ahead of time.
Correct, and she'll have them available for you if you'd like.
Okay. Are we ready for, wait a minute, there was something in chat right now. And Troy, why don't you address Jeff Roberts' question?
Yeah, Jeff, if you go to Arbiter, there are 2 ways to do it. Well, either you can go to your list or people type column where you can see everybody's name. If you click on your name, you scroll down, let's say instructional hours for flag, instructional hours for tackle. It'll tell you that the current one is. Keep in mind, this does not include any of the testing. I won't calculate that till the 14th. It's too difficult to track one by one there. But everything else is up to date as of today.
Okay.
And the second way, sorry, they did say there was 2. The second way, go to custom fields and settings. Go to settings, custom fields, and you scroll down and you'll see it there as well.
All right. So we will go through we will go through the new rules. You're able to go through through Arbiter, through Central Hub to take the summer study guide. Everybody must pass that test with an 80. I don't care how many times you have to take it, but you have to get an 80. If you have problems with it, then reach out to me. We will review those answers in depth with any questions at our first meeting after we break out of our general session. And the test will be shut down that evening at 11:59 p.m. if you don't have a passed, if you haven't passed by that point, your games that are assigned to that point will be pulled because you're not qualified to take games. Very important to make sure you get that summer study guide in with at least an 80%. As far as on, well, how does that affect my ratings? That's a Paul Hebert question. I'm Paul Caldera. Paul Hebert handles your ratings, and you talk to him about that. I don't want to hear anything about ratings. We good? I will go ahead and jump into, I think we're good. Go to share screen, share. Okay. Show from beginning, slideshow. Okay, is it here? You guys all see it? Okay, so here we go. 2025 rules changes. If you have any questions, please throw it up in the chat. I'll try to go through the stuff, and Troy will help me out as far as on keeping track of those who have questions. I think we are good. I just want to make sure I saw those last chats before I proceed. Okay, here we go. Mouthpieces. So it says here in 2026 is when this actually goes in, but California actually put this as a requirement as of last year. So regardless of what the NFHS rulebook says, the state of California has already deemed all of the extra stuff on the mouthpieces to be illegal. And remember that the rule now is they must only have one mouthpiece. So those who had one in their mouth and one dangling, they get rid of the dangling one. They just have to have one legal one in their mouth. Here's some other examples of extra stuff that's attached to the mouthpiece, the mouth guard. Anything that's extra is deemed illegal. And here's some examples of legal ones. And just don't, all because it has print on the mouthpiece itself does not mean that it's illegal. Arm sleeves. Now, this is effective 2027. And remember, a lot of these, what I'm going through now, are geared toward test questions. So as of 2027, these arm sleeves, they have to have the logo, the approved logo, to the SFIA specification. If not, those are deemed illegal arm sleeves. Now we see a lot of arm sleeves that are out right now. What we are looking for right now are any type of stickiness that are on them, which would make them illegal. So the Fred Bolitnikoff days of those of you who are as old as me and know who Fred Bolitnikoff is, he used to put tacky stuff on the sleeves, the gloves, all of his stuff to make sure that the ball stuck to him. So any type of foreign substance is still illegal, and this is what we're looking for as far as arm sleeve. Don't let them put that on. And once again, this is the logo that we're looking for that meets the SFIA specification. Electronic signs. When coaches and just staff on the sidelines have different type of signs, as long as it's a non-audio sign, they can have whatever they want on the sideline to signal the team on the middle of the field. So once again, this is non-audible. Going back to when we talk about timeouts, when they have the iPads, well, if it's like it says down here, it's illegal if it's during a timeout between the 9-yard marks. So if one coach comes to the middle of the field to talk to his team, he can't bring out an iPad to discuss it with his team. We as a unit would rather encourage the teams to go to the sideline outside the 9-yard marks, and that way all coaches, all of the graphics, and as many people as they want can be on the sidelines. So anything on the sideline, let them have a party. If it's between the 9-yard marks, only one coach. They could have, for example, water people watering them down, but only one coach and no electronic footage in the huddle. Also, we don't, we no longer, we never are going to allow any type of cameras, which is here. They have like GoPros, and they also have microphones. These are being encouraged throughout the United States because we have more games that are being televised. And so they get some of the producers are going to teams. Hey, we want to get an up close and personal effect with your team. Can we attach this camera or this microphone on your player? It would be really good for the game. That's not legal. Both items are deemed illegal. We're not looking for it, but as far as part of our checklist before the game. But if we do see it, it's considered illegal equipment. We kick them out, and it's the first of the unsportsmanlike that hits towards the coach. And as a reminder, tomorrow I will be having this same presentation to all coaches in Orange County, so that way they're hearing the same thing that I'm saying to you guys. Okay, here's the big rule that's big for high school. It's the same rule as in college. It's the forward fumble out of bounds. So when a player fumbles the ball, here we have A1 fumbles the ball and it goes out of bounds. The first thing we do is the ball went out of bounds. The sideline official will kill the play. Now, once the ball is retrieved by the official, it'll go back to the spot where the ball was fumbled, and then the clock will start immediately on the ready for play, not on the snap. Ball's placed down, referee winds the clock. Next one, the ball is fumbled forward into the end zone. This part is similar to a high school rule that we've had in the past. Any ball that's fumbled forward into the end zone and dead there or out of bounds from there is the result of the play. Here in this particular one, because it went out of bounds, then it becomes a touchback. If it's forward fumble into the end zone recovered by B, that's a touchback as well. If it's forward fumble and recovered by a teammate of A, then we have a touchdown. We do not have the fourth down fumble rule. We just have a fumble forward out of bounds rule. Now, here's the exception as far as on fumble forward. If it goes backwards, the ball's fumbled, goes backwards and out of bounds, it stays at the spot where it went out of bounds, and now the game clock will start on the snap. So here the ball was fumbled at the 10, went out of bounds at the 12. The sideline official will kill the clock as the ball went out of bounds. The ball's retrieved, set at the inbound spot, and then the play will start on the pursuing snap. We good so far, Troy? I see some items.
There is a question regarding the from Enrique. He asked a question from your last rule interpretation, so I don't know if you want to confuse it or complete here.
I'd rather take the question first.
Okay, so he's asking, the question is, we kick them out. So you use the word we kick them out, the equipment or the player. He just wants some clarification around that.
No. They go out of the play. They're not ejected. I apologize for that. They have illegal equipment. We send them out until they fix the equipment, but because it's illegal equipment, it's not failure to wear. It's not where the knee pads are not covering the knee. This is illegal equipment. So that's one of the two that goes toward the head coach.
So that's
But
a UNS, correct?
Correct. The player goes out of bounds. The player needs to be replaced because he's got illegal equipment. He needs to have that remedy before we can play again. And then the head coach is assessed and unsportsmanlike for the illegal equipment. Good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And now, are we good as far as on this fumble backwards out of bounds? There was nothing in the chat for that, right, Troy?
No, you're good.
Okay. Now, understand that a fumble is a fumble, but a muff is a muff. So here, the quarterback A1 pitches it to A2, and a muff is a unsuccessful attempt to secure the ball. So A2, the running back, attempts to secure the ball, doesn't, and it bounces out of bounds. Where people will get confused on this particular slide, here the ball is pitched backwards, hits A2, but then it goes forward out of bounds. Well, it's still not a fumble. This is a backwards pass that went out of bounds. So the ball, it appears that the ball was snapped, let's say, at the 5-yard line. So this ends up behind the line of scrimmage. So we have a backwards pass that went out of bounds. The ball will be placed at where the ball went out of bounds, and the clock will start on the snap. We kill the ball once the ball goes out of bounds. Kill it. Okay, ball's out of bounds, behind the line of scrimmage, behind the spot, bring it to the inbound spot, and then the clock will start again on the snap. As a reminder, the play clock is separate from the game clock. When the ball goes out of bounds, that will start the 40-second play clock. It has nothing to do with the game clock. Now, we have a fumble from the end zone that goes forwards and out of bounds. Okay. Forward fumble out of bounds. Bring it back to the spot of the fumble. What's the result of the play? It's a safety, correct? So down here we talk about, there's a part that talks about momentum. So let's say that let's say this was a punt and the ball was caught between the 5 and the goal line. And his momentum brings him into the end zone. Momentum still applies. So if that were the case, it's not just a running play, but momentum brings him into the end zone. We go back to the momentum spot, place it there, and R, because it's a punt, would maintain the ball. If it's a running play, the ball snapped in through this area, runner fumbles from the end zone, it goes out of bounds, it's a safety. A punt, momentum brings them into the end zone, ball's fumble forward or out of bounds, a momentum rule still applies. We good on that, or is there anything in the chat, Troy? Okay. All right. I love these crazy slides. So here you have A, fumbling forward into the end zone. B recovers the fumble. And then before he can get out of the end zone, fumbles it forward and out of bounds. Bring it back to B. A still in the end zone. What you need to remember is that B never brought the ball into the field of play. So it's the same as if he recovered the ball in the end zone and stayed there, and it remains a touchback. If he went into the field of play and then went back on his own, and this happens, now we do have a safety. Hope everybody gets that part. So This part is just mostly revisions to make it simpler on the illegal participation penalty. And as you can see, all of this part is deleted to make it simpler for all of us to understand as far as the enforcement spot. So instead of saying all the stuff that was deleted, just understand that we're going penalty for illegal participation standardized as 15 yards live ball from the basic spot enforcement. This rule does not change the team to gain the line to gain an advantage by entering participation during the game, during a play. Editorial changes. Jersey markings. Hey, we can now put logos on the jerseys. Not a big deal. Nicknames, the Lions, whatever it is. Okay, loose ball. This is penalty enforcement as far as on a loose ball play. It's action during a free kick or a scrimmage kick other than post scrimmage. Loose ball plays. Action defined as in C and D. Running plays. This is once again, this is not kicks. This is now we're talking about running plays, action plays. This is just definitions, types of plays, loose ball plays, running plays. This part's important as far as on clearing up, as far as on defenseless receiver. In my opinion, this makes it much easier for us to officiate. When it talks about no player, or non-player shall initiate forceful contact against a defenseless receiver, that is not. So if they do one of these three things, then we're good. So if they initiate contact because of play on the ball, B is going for the ball, there's contact, if they're just going for the ball, that's great. If the contact is initiated by open hands, that's fine too. Or if there's an attempt to tackle the receiver, as illustrated here, by wrapping around, that's not a foul either. So if you're able to say one of these three things, that's what gets you out of a foul against a defenseless receiver. So if all three of these, if you cannot apply any of the three items that are listed here, then it's a 15-yard personal foul penalty. And the one way to think about it as well, all three of these actions are not designed to punish the opponent. When you see action that's designed to punish the opponent, then your antenna should pop up and then ask yourself, did one of these three things happen? If not, it's likely that you have a foul for hitting the defenseless receiver. We good with that? Troy? Okay. And then once again, we're talking about just editorial changes. You can look at this on your own.
Oh, actually, I lied to you. Paul Schneider had a pretty legit question. Can open hands create forceful contact?
Well, let's put it this way. Are the open hands to the helmet, right? If it's a play that's a legal play, then it's a legal play. If the open hands are to the helmet, then you're striking above the shoulder pads, if that makes sense. Paul, we go with that?
We're good.
Okay. And as I said, these are just for you to if you're bored and can't have problems sleeping, then you can look at what these things are, but these are more of clarifications. Okay, reminders, here we go. Jerseys of the home team shall be the same color dark, that contrasts to white. So there are some teams that say we don't have enough jerseys, so one team's going to have the black jersey and the other team's going to have the gray jersey. Then we'll just have the visitors with the white. The entire team must have the same dark jersey. Points of emphasis. Illegal equipment properly worn. sportsmanship, and defensive player, which we touched on earlier.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
That the uniform thing's probably to come more into play for lower level games. You want to give them instruction on how to handle that so they just don't cancel the game. Because that does happen. I've seen it several times.
Well, I'll first tell you that if it's at the varsity level, then there's no changing. They have to have the right thing at the upper level. If it's at the lower level, and the first thing you want to ask the coach is, well, is he playing or is he just out here? Because there are some times where they have JV players that are coming and they're just there just in case, and they have a different jersey, or if they don't, if they have enough players where they can switch up jerseys to have the ones who are playing have the right jersey, and then the ones who are not playing, try to have them before the game switch into jerseys that the ones who are playing are going to actually play. If you're able to distinguish, then at the lower level, I would tell you that we want them to play the game, but this should not be a problem. If you want to allow them to play, then we need an incident report. This is not an ejection report. It's an incident report that you go to cifsouthernsection.org and then just let me know what happened. I need a phone call as well. Just let me know what's going on. Okay. Uh-oh.
Andrew Bard, what do we do if the entire varsity team is in the wrong color? Example, USC versus UCLA.
Okay, well, number one is there are times where the schools can request that both teams have home jerseys. And this is a lot of times with crosstown rivals. And if the school notifies, now it's Joe Hogart, who took the place of Richard Shear. If they notify him ahead of time and get permission, we will notify the officials that this has been approved at the CIF office. So it is not necessarily illegal. They just need permission prior to doing so. If by chance it comes up where it's not, that they have the visiting team brings just home and nothing's been approved, technically the home team's supposed to change the jersey, and we still need the incident report to notify CIF. Okay. We know about equipment, and I will tell you that here's on this this slide here is exactly what the coaches should know that everyone should have. At the CFOA meeting, where we had 4 people, in addition to myself, at the meeting, we were told that all across the state, up and down the state, officials are getting more cooperation and having the knees covered. So it's because that we're doing our due diligence to make sure that before the game we see who doesn't have it right, and if a player doesn't have knee pads that are covering, and we continue to send them out, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but schools are coming around at all levels to get it done right. And we were given praise by Steve Coover, the state rules interpreter, by us doing our job, that they see dramatic improvement over this past year. So I know that our association has been known as being called like the uniform police, and I was ready to bring up as far as on if we're going to be the only ones doing it, then I have a problem with it. But Steve Coover said even through the state playoffs, there was dramatic improvement by officials by holding to their guns and saying no, they don't play, and they would send them out, and teams would comply. So keep doing what we need to do before the game. See who has improper equipment, address it to the coach, let him know if he wants to play, he has to get it right before the game. Shields. We'll start off with shields only because I've had a couple of questions this year. They cannot be tinted at all. At all. Any kind of tint, they're illegal. They have to take them off. In the rule book, it says that they can wear tinted eyewear. So there's a team in Orange County that there's a player that has tinted prescription goggles. I made sure that I got clarification. goggles are considered eyewear. So if a player has tinted goggles, we let them play with it. Now, if the player has a shield and goggles, well, that's not our problem. The intent is so that way uh, stuff doesn't get in their eyes. That's why they have the shield, and the same thing as far as on either eyeglasses or goggles, if they need a prescription. But if they put both on and the shield is clear and the kid gets hurt, we don't touch the player. It's up to the the medical staff that's attending to decide on how they want to handle addressing the hurt player. So just remember, as far as on if it's a tinted shield, then it's gone. They cannot have it. If it's clear, it's fine. If they have tinted glasses or tinted goggles, those are deemed legal. Hey, Troy, didn't you talk about that you found that there's a particular brand that we have an issue with?
I don't recall the brand, but yeah, there was one specific one.
But it was you said there was a way to figure out if it was tinted or not because
Yeah, I don't recall.
okay, let's not worry about it then. Okay, I'll go back to picture A now. Just remember that all jewelry is considered illegal. They got to get rid of it. If they have the eye shade or eye band, just one across, and it cannot have any additional added on sayings or anything along those lines. The logo of the brand of the eye tape thing is fine, but past that is not. In items D, the decor adornments are still illegal. Tell them to get rid of it. And then on item E, the tile has to conform to the proper size, not just a big long towel. Okay, getting back to when I talked about knee pads, it's like I said, we were given praise as far as the whole CFOA of us doing our part, and if a kid doesn't have it right, then we get them out. I did ask that if we can get some type of slide to at least say what's allowable, not allowable. If you want to go as far as on something to hang your hat on, just remember that if they're able to start the play with the knees covered and it comes above the knee due to play, as long as they're able to pull it back down before the next play, then they'll be doing it every play. But we're not going to sit there and make it more difficult for ourselves. If we're able to get close enough is good enough. If the guy's wearing shorts, then get them out of there. The next thing, as far as on the mouthpieces, once again, they have to have it in their mouth. They only are allowed to have one. They can't have one in their mouth and one dangled. And then in item C, remember that the shoulder pads must be completely covered as well. Little bit of a change on this, and I'm glad about this. So we talk about the on celebration at the end of a play, and usually it's in the end zone. When we have the high fives, the chest bumps, a lot of excitement, we're going to let that go. Anything that's considered prolonged or choreographed, like the guns and the shootings and anything directed toward an opponent, that's automatic. That's an automatic unsportsmanlike foul. Where we are getting into a part where we can loosen our grip on what's going on. Now, if a player takes the ball and spins it, then that's a UNS. That isn't unsportsmanlike. If the kid throws the ball, if there's any way that you can deem that as a delay of game instead of a unsportsmanlike foul, we're encouraged to do it that way. So the kid's all excited, throws the ball, unless he gears back and throws it into the crowd, then if we're able to call it a delay game, then we'll do it that way. Throws it into the ground, into the crowd, then absolutely not. Then we'll call that an unsportsmanlike. And I do want to stop on that part because there should be there's likely a couple of questions on that.
Quick question. Actually, you got several questions here. So one of them's Kurt Zimmerman. What about exposed midriff or midsection? Is that still illegal?
Yes.
Rich, I'm assuming he answered your question because he said it specifically. And then Matt said, send, oh no, you're making a joke. Never mind.
So I will tell you this: you you want to have some type of rapport with the kids if you can, and what works for one person doesn't work for another. And one kid, because it's really hot, and he had his um, jersey tape, and I'm looking at a belly button, and I just said, "Hey, Madonna, you need to cover that stuff up." And of course, the rest of his teammates are, you're Madonna. And of course, the kid got all embarrassed and uncovered it. But that should be addressed before the game. We really don't want to see that kind of stuff happen once the game starts. So take the time before the game to correct that kind of stuff, or at least point it out to the coach. Hey, coach, he can't play like that.
Another question from Tony Bryant. Back to mouthpieces. Nothing in the rules say they have to be properly seated in their mouths, just in their mouth. Some guys do the Stephen Curry thing and have basically hanging out sideways. They're just chewing on the edge of it.
Yeah, it's called Dumbass 101. So I'll also tell you that there was a question that I have not received an answer yet on the a line. What do you call it? Invisalign, because some players are trying to use that as a mouthpiece, and I will first tell you that I want to see that they have something in their mouth. I don't want to sit there and try to run a test before the game as far as on, well, how good is that mouthpiece? So I would first tell you, you want to look for it. I say look to make sure they have something in their mouth, and then it doesn't look like it has an adornment or something attached to it. But I'm still waiting for my reply as far as on some of these players are trying to use an Invisalign as a mouthpiece.
Yeah, the rule does state that it has to be properly worn, and I would say having it stand out of your mouth like Steph Curry, that's not properly worn. So there has to be some semblance of reality here.
Okay, so the official, I guess what we should do is just tell the kid, hey, if you're not going to wear it properly, then it's the same thing as not having your knees covered, right? And we'll just send them out. Because we want to be consistent on how we explain it to a coach. Okay? Number next. We talked about this already as far as on the defenseless players and targeting. Uh, Once again, if you had those three items that you're able to go against to say what the player was or wasn't doing, and we're just looking, is he going to punish the player? Is he attempting to tackle a player? Is the best way to look at it. And that's all I have with that. Where are we at? 42. Great. Are there more questions or no? I'm letting you go through that part, Troy. Let me take a look.
Okay.
Okay, when spinning the ball and spiking the ball in the same one. Well, I don't know how you can spin and spike at the same time, but I would just say incorporate that as one. Unless he picks up the ball and does it a second time, I think that I would call an unsportsmanlike and a delay a game, so you're at least at 20 yards. Um, but a guy's going to be pretty dumb to spin it and have to go back and pick it up and spike it again. I don't see that happening. That's, to me, that part is not really realistic. Okay. Anything else, Troy, on that one?
No, you can move on.
Okay. I just want to look at my notes real quick before I move on. Okay. You know on how there are Steve Coover said that we have our mechanics, but we have the latitude to make some tweaks to our mechanics to fit our association. This is something that we found happening more often than not. And we have been given permission to run a pilot. He says, run it as a pilot mechanic, for lack of words. We have permission to do it. So he's calling it a pilot program. So on a kickoff, what's happening, you can see on here, all the players are lined up. This player here is lined up with this guy here, and the ball's being set up here. And we don't have a particular mechanic other than making sure that everybody's lined up at the high school level. So as I start to play this, oh, looky here. We have a guy over here. I don't know if he just stepped on, if he came from a huddle, came all the way out, but this guy's adjusted to him, and the ball's over here. So the intent of K, if you can kind of have an anticipation of what's going to go on, okay, we're all going to be over here. Wait. And I'm like that wrestler. You don't see me. John Cena. You don't see me. You don't see me. And sure enough, here's a little pooch kick. And if he does it right, let me move this forward. The ball will end up in this zone here. And all K has to do is fall on the ball, and it's K's ball. And as the intent of K is not to be obstructed by a blocker. So if he's able to kick it correctly, drop the ball here, K ends up with the ball. So what I asked, what we can do at the high school level for us is the same as the college mechanic. So the rule says that every player must be within the 9-yard marks when the ball is marked ready for play. So at the college level, this is the line judge, correct? Would be at the 9-yard mark, which is at the 50. The umpire would be at the 40, which is at the 9-yard mark. And make sure that all the players are within the 9-yard mark until the referee blows the ball ready for play. And then these two officials would back out to the sideline position and ready for the kick to be made. So this prevents this, and I call it a hideout play. And because it's accepted at the college level, and I brought this up at the CFOA meeting, we had multiple units say that's not a bad idea. So we have permission to do it, and I'm going to make this a requirement for, and this will be for all levels. We will always have someone at the receivers restraining line, someone always at the kickers restraining line. For this, it'd be the line judge and the head linesman for 3-man mechanics, back judge and line judge for the 5-man mechanics, and 7-man slightly different, but you get what I'm saying. We will make sure that all players are within the 9-yard mark before they're ready for play, then you back out. Are there any questions on this particular play? Okay. Let me get out of this. There is okay. So if those of you who are on the Greg Truex spring meetings, there was a point where Rod Amore was on as a guest speaker, and he made the comment here, this particular play is 3rd and 3. And what they do at his level is when it's 3rd and 3, 4th and 3, both flanks go to the line to gain. They as soon as the ball is snapped, similar to goal line mechanics. And the reason is they feel that the line to gain is a very important spot, especially if it's 4th down. Well, they say at 3rd and 4th down, and we looked at some film as far as what some of our guys are doing, and we've come up with this accepted pilot program as well. So when it's 3rd and 3 4th and 3 in anywhere on the field, we want the head linesman to stay on the line of scrimmage, but we want the line judge to release on the snap and go to the line to gain. That way, the line judge has a clear look if by chance the line to gain is met. If it's close, we have someone already there with the good look. So the difference between what Radamari was saying and what we're going to do is the head linesman will remain on the line of scrimmage, because if it's a busted play, and now we have a possibility of an illegal forward pass beyond the line, just anything along the line of scrimmage where there's help needed, we still have that protected. And I'm saying this so that way it's for both 3-man and 5-man, that we have the head linesman stay and that the line judge will release to the line of gain. And this is we still have this latitude to do when it's let's say 3rd and long, 4th and long, and we keep the head linesman on the line of scrimmage, and we'll release the line judge at the before the snap. Just go ahead and release them in off mechanics. So those of you who are new, just understand. Hopefully, Kyle and Bob Isha will explain this to you. We want to be able to, if it's 3rd and long, 4th and long, and especially when it's close to the end of a half, go ahead and release this line judge early to where the line to gain would be, and that way he's not having to run and get there, and has a chance to look down the line and see if he has a chance of getting it. And the reason why we want the line judge to do it instead of the head linesman is we want to be consistent at all levels, what we're teaching to everybody. The line judge is going to be off in 3-man mechanics for punts anyway, so let's just keep the head linesman consistent on not having to think as far as, oh, do I go now? No, you always stay. You're the guy protecting the line of scrimmage. Anything before I run this play? I'll run the play. So runs the play. Now he obviously gets it, but see on this particular play, because we haven't taught this before, he doesn't leave until the runner's already gone. If by chance ball is snapped and he goes now, he moves from here to the 35 right now and just waits for it. He's not having to officiate on the run. He should be already there. So if he gets stood up now amongst these people, he's got a good look. Because he makes it easily, makes it simple, but I'm just trying to have all of you understand the concept. Any questions on that?
Is there a mechanic for the line judge to, this is for the previous question or the previous rule. Is there a mechanic for the line judge to tell the headlines he is moving to the line to gain? I would assume it's the same one as we tell the off mechanic by tapping your head.
Correct. Stop. Wait a minute. Stop. Where am I at here? Yeah, so we tap the head, and then the referee's going to help. The referee's going to help the communicate across, because sometimes the referee has a good look to look across and see that his line judge is moving off, and then tell his head linesman, hey, you're by yourself, just to remind him. And we want the head linesman to tap his head as well to acknowledge that, hey, I see you, buddy. You're going off. I'm staying here. Yeah, Jim, same thing, right? So we want both of you to have the same signal, so that way you both understand what you're saying. And then I see Don Ariaso's. Yeah, if you have the OTOs, if you have the headsets, it's even better, right? Because you're able to verbally say, "Hey, I'm going off," and then we want the head linesman to confirm, to get on the headset as well and say, "I got you. I'm by myself." So make sure you communicate to each other that you understand what you're doing as a crew. Okay, are we good with that?
Yeah, you can move forward.
Okay, well, technically that's what I have for tonight. Just as to let you know, we're going to go over the summer study guide questions. We're going to have video, and then, like I said, the vendor is going to be there at the next meeting on August 13th. Troy, do you want to at least bring up briefly on the um, voluntary uh, state thing that's coming up, or do you want to wait till the 13th?
Let's wait till the 13th when we've got a little bit more. I can do it now. Just real quick, as you guys noticed, the email I sent out maybe a week now regarding what the CIF state level is requiring or requesting to start in the 2026 season. Brian Brennan and I have gone ahead and they sent out directions on what that looks like now. So in reality is, if you guys recall, it included uh, insurance, it included background checks, etc. Making sure you're not a murderer. It also included some of the testing components, so everybody's on the same page. So what I'll do is you'll end up receiving an email, so be looking for it. And then we did check in the insurance. The insurance it is the same insurance that NFHS was utilizing through the Dragonfly Max, so we don't have to go through that process anymore. And for all of that, it's only $29, where if you just did the NFHS insurance, most of you are aware it was $35. So it's actually a discount. But that includes the background checks and all of that. So you guys won't have to do the sexual harassment stuff anymore. You won't have to do any of, I don't have to check Megan's Law, all that kind of stuff anymore. That'll all be done for us. So that is required in 2026. But if your insurances are expiring, let's talk, because it's kind of tricky on how to get it. Mainly is you have to click on the link that it comes out in the email itself. You can't go straight to Arbiter and try to find it that way. So you have to click on it, and all of a sudden it appears, it turns on, for lack of a better term. So basically, you log on, and it's Brian Seymour's connection component to it. And then they turn around after the things inside there. All of a sudden you see a little face pop up. You type in your email address that's associated to your account, and then it appears into your account. So there's a little trick to that. So that will you may need some hand holding in that case. But once it's there forever. You'll see a bunch of tests appear, and it'll walk you through the whole process. It's pretty nifty, and it is a cost effective. So instead of paying $140 for NASO or $35, you're gonna pay 29 bucks, and you get the same insurance that includes all sports at all levels. So this is a change for anyone who's an officiating at any sport. This will be a major change for you guys. And there is a testing component that will be required next season. I did take this year's test. It's almost identical to what we do now. So that's how it works. So just
So,
give me a quick update there.
so bottom line is they want a minimum standard, and that's what the testing's for. The cost is going to cost less, which hopefully reduces our fees, or at least the pocket to you. This insurance also is good for all sports, um, high school, non-high school, and it's yearly. It's not for a season, so it's good stuff for 29 bucks, and we don't have to deal with the background checks, the sexual harassment stuff, any of that. So I personally think it's a great thing for us to pursue next year, and we'll talk about that later. But reason why I wanted that brought up now is because those of you who are doing other sports, you can and you don't have insurance, or you're able to sign up at that point. It's just being cost effective to you guys. All right. Anything for the good of the cause. As a reminder,
One more thing.
I'm releasing the crew assignments tonight. Make sure that your travel limits are correct, that your calendar's correct, your blocks are correct. And then once those are out, then I'm starting with week 0 in all levels, and you'll start getting those out. So if there's a problem, we want to make sure that we correct it, so then that way you are able to get games. All right, last thing, anything for the good of cause.
Yeah, I got one more thing. Quite a few of you were asking, and I got surprisingly more emails than I anticipated in regards to the new shirts and when it's mandatory. As I told most of you on the side, the new shirt from a CFOA level is not required. However, our association is very crew driven and very crew chief driven. So if the crew chief wants to use that shirt, the expectation is you probably should have one. They're not going to stop specifically at the varsity level. I don't think there's any crews that are still using the old shirts, but I could be wrong. But if you're going to sub in on especially one of those crews, you probably should have one. Those shirts will be available from Blues, who will be there. Also, you guys look back at your old emails from me. You can find that link that's in there. So my recommendation is you may want to grab one.
All right. Anything else? Otherwise, we're right at 8 o'clock. As promised, you get credit for this as well. If there's any questions regarding testing, let me know. Anything regarding registration, let Troy know. Anything regarding flag, don't call me. Call either Todd Summers or Rick Langemeyer. All right.
But Troy, could you send that the link out again, please, for Blues?
Sure, I'll send it out for a third time. You got it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good job, guys. Stay safe.